DSPN, the Devlin Sports Podcast Network.
Feedback Friday comment corner. Thank you so much for participating, which is pretty much getting on the DSPN YouTube channel, leaving us a comment, share, like, do all of that. We're going to rock through these because I got a heap of them. Starting with Blues, a toast for both Moana fixtures. That obviously after the weekend result where MP beat the Crusaders convincingly.
Probably before the Blues team was named.
I had loved this one as well. I had MP to win by 13 plus. Whoever you are, is that for real?
No.
Is that for real?
No.
Listen very carefully. Jason Ria explains, I'll say this only once. The reason why there has to be rounds with 4 games instead of 5, like we had last week with Super Rugby, is this. 11 teams for every round has 1 team having a bye, so everyone's got 2 byes. There aren't 2 full rounds of matches. Cheers.
Have 1 bye.
Yeah.
Why can't you just have 1 bye? Everyone's bye once.
Do they really need 2 byes in it? I mean, the competition's not that long, is it? Martin, Kane's coming home with a wet sail. Yee-hoo! Until the Chiefs or the Crusaders knock us out in the playoffs, as always. That comment I loved. Why? Because that's a real Hurricanes fan saying that.
There is some history there.
That's a fan who knows, who's just sat and watched it in Wellington rugby for decades like the rest of us and just knows.
I'm trying to think. There was a stretch of it, like
you know.
5 or 6 straight years where if they faced a New Zealand side in the finals, the Hurricanes, they just lost.
Martin, I'm not in the least frustrated about Rico's potential at centre. This was with Tony Johnson, giving Rico some big ups. Tony, in fact, I haven't seen any. I'm frustrated he doesn't perform to the standard required and keeps his place. A lot of comment about Rico Ioane coming in this week, and we talked about him with Mex as well. There'll be some more coming up on that. Martin, that was just a one-off from MP. They won't make the playoffs. And the reply to that was probably not, but they're going to upset the apple cart a few times before the end of the season. And I think they will too. I don't think MP will make the playoffs, but, and Tony Johnson said this a couple of weeks ago, they will win games. And I think that they're going to beat New South Wales to start with. And if they beat New South Wales, who knows from there? Because they got 2 against the Blues.
So, yeah, they've got the Waratahs, then a week later they've got the Blues, then the Brumbies, then the Enduro. They have, okay, I tell you, they've got 4 straight games. Let me just double check, but I think they've got 4 straight games in Auckland or Greater Auckland, right? So they've got the Waratahs at home, Blues away, then they've got 2 home games. Yeah, that's like Brisbane Broncos getting Magic Round at home and then getting, but that not counting as a home game, and then getting the Dolphins at Suncorp. That's not a home game.
I think that Crusaders win is everything for that franchise. It will give them the confidence to believe that they can win any game that they play. Going down to Christchurch and doing that.
Yeah, it is 4 straight. So they've got 1 at Pukekohe, 2 at North Harbour, and then they've got 1 at Eden Park. Yes, absolutely.
I'd love them to make it.
Oh, anyone who says they don't is either just a salty Crusaders fan or they just don't like rugby.
Give them some life. Give MP some.
But they got to earn it. They got to earn it.
Well,
which if they can win some games and get in there, they've earned it.
Martin, and we talked about this with Tony Johnson as well earlier, and the whole Auckland Stadium thing is ridiculous. Just hurry up and build a new one. We'll be having this debate again in 15 years. I don't even want to even reply to that because you're right.
Tell you what,
I'm sick of it. I
saw an article in the Herald where it had a video of the plan for Eden Park, and I got swayed a little bit by the plan, and I sat there and I realised this isn't happening. This isn't getting built. No. This special retractable seating that turns it into a cricket circle on the roof, and they're planning to build a hotel in the North Stand. A hotel. I mean, if it all happens, wonderful, but
we've been talking about this
won't happen
for my whole life.
Yeah,
okay,
it won't happen.
Does there need to be a discussion about whether Ardie Savea is a better captain for the All Blacks than Scott Barrett?
Okay, based on what evidence is Scott Barrett a bad captain?
Well, this caller, texter, messenger has said Barrett made a couple of poor captaincy choices during the end of year tour.
Cool. What if Ardie makes some bad choices as captain?
Yeah, Ardie has been captain before, and Ardie has made some bad choices as captain. Ardie was on the field against England when we blew that lead, remember?
Was he the captain at the time?
I'm pretty sure he's the skipper at the time.
He could have been. That was when TJ. He told TJ to. Or anyway, it's a leadership type decision where he told TJ kick it away, and then England got the ball, scored a try, drew the match. You
can't blame him for the result, but I don't know. Look. Of course, it's a debate because it's worth a debate because we've got 2 guys who could easily captain the All Blacks, right?
Yeah, and I don't think either one of us would have a problem if Ardie Savea was. We're both big fans of him. Can I just quickly say? There seems, there's a hint of Sam Cane and Scott Barrett that people just don't seem to warm to him the same way. There's something very fashionable and attractive about Ardie Savea. We can all agree on that.
Absolutely. He's charismatic. He's got everything.
Yeah, he's a brilliant player. But there's something, Scott Barrett doesn't seem to have that same
I trust the All Black coach. He picked Scott Barrett for a reason. Yeah. Okay? Yeah. And if you believe and trust in Scott Robertson, believe and trust in his choice of captain. Martin, I actually agree with your top 6 predictions for Super Rugby. Chiefs, Crusaders, Canes, Reds, Brumbies, Blues. The Blues are going to find form before the playoffs. Fitting and Barrett at 10 will improve their chances. Well, we're going to find out, aren't we, big time against the Hurricanes. Because if the Blues lose that game, it is over. The season is done if that's the case. If they win that game,
they have to win 7 straight to finish 8-6, which I would think at a minimum you need that record, based on how close this competition is.
From Rugby Guru, funny, the elephant in the room is not being addressed. What actually happened is how poor is the quality of New Zealand rugby? A series win for France.
Gee.
Okay, all right. Man didn't walk on the moon. It's actually a warehouse in Lower Hutt, by the way.
What's
all right? I only just wanted to introduce that because
what's negative about what's bad about New Zealand rugby?
Yeah, we lost the World Cup final by a point. Because you know why. South Africans know why.
The same World Cup that France couldn't get out of the quarterfinals for.
Graham Lowe on the program
home.
talking about the Warriors. The Warriors are still a work in progress. They don't need this great expectation put on them by the fans to make the finals. It's only round 4.
Yes, you do.
I'm enjoying what I'm seeing at the moment and know there's still lots of improvement. Go the Warriors. Yes,
this is why they fail every year.
This is why the Warriors
there is no expectation.
Mired in mediocrity because of this, because they don't have the expectation. I mean, let's just substitute the All Blacks words for the Warriors. Don't put expectations on the All Blacks. I mean, are you insane? The reason the All Blacks win and win and win and win is because they go out there knowing that's the demands on them is to win games. The Warriors players for decades have just turned up to work and got paid. They need to have demands and expectations put on them. That's what you are. You're a professional sports team. Your currency is winning. There is no other currency. It's not opening bars and selling jerseys or anything else. It's winning competition games. And those players should know that the minimum expectation every year is to make the 8.
Yeah, if I may compare them to my Brisbane Broncos, which I do a lot on this
well, they're very comparable in playing strength, styles, and where they're going to finish in the table this year.
No, yeah. The Broncos last year, I think, finished 10-14, which was only 1 point better than the Warriors. But it was absolute anarchy. From stuff I read and from the outside looking in, anarchy in Brisbane.
Yes,
because they missed the 8 based on what they did the previous year.
It's not good enough.
There's no excuses.
No,
none of it.
Stop making excuses for the Warriors. The Warriors are there to win games. That's what they're there to do. And as fans, hey, if you're not the kind of fan that thinks that, and you're the kind of fan that is just rah-rah and pom-pom, that's fine. But I'm not. I want that team to win. That's why I follow them. I want them to win. I don't sit there and watch every week because I'm thinking, oh, great, they're turning up to play this week. No. They're there to win games. This is, to me, the next 2 comments are just say everything about asking people to comment. This is on Graham Lowe. When Graham Lowe said Lussick to replace Egan, he lost all credibility, says this post, right?
Okay.
The very next post. I totally agree on Lussick. He's got to get more game time. Okay? So, no one's right, no one's wrong. It's just opinions. But saying that Graham Lowe doesn't have credibility, please. The person who wrote this, your handles legit comments. I mean, at least say who you are. Give us a real person. Sir Graham Lowe, has coached the Kiwis to success. He coached Wigan to amazing success. He coached
Queensland and Origin.
He coached Queensland and Origin. The guy's
to
opinion,
a series win.
The guy's opinion is absolutely valid. If you don't agree with it, that's fine. But saying he doesn't have any credibility, come on, son. Come on, that's very disrespectful. He deserves better than that. But what I love about it is I love the fact that that person writes that comment. The very next comment is somebody praising Lussick. That's what we do as fans. That's the whole point of it, okay? But I just don't like when you get, somebody like Sir Graham Lowe deserves a hell of a lot.
Well, you could disagree with an opinion. I think to say that they've lost credibility, they don't have any. I think coming from someone who doesn't play rugby league, I assume, and doesn't coach it.
And doesn't even put your proper name up.
But, hey, that's his opinion.
That's your
You're
opinion.
allowed to have an opinion.
And we welcome it because this is what it's all about, Comment Corner, okay? And finally, I love this one, from Dominic McCarthy. 3 Ys, 3 Es, 3 S's. Yes! Just say it, Lachlan. We know you want to. That's how we're finishing this week. The floor is yours. Just say it. You know what he's talking about?
No?
You know what he's talking about, and you want to say it, but you just have this internal fire of bitterness and hate towards the Warriors, and you won't say it. Forget that I'm here. Forget that I'm here, and you're just talking to anyone else, okay? So I'm not here, so you can actually say it truthfully.
Okay.
You can actually say, Lachlan, you want to say it.
I'll talk to the audience. I will never, ever ever say anything good about the Warriors and their chances of making the top 4, let alone the top 8. I don't like the Warriors. I'm not a Warriors fan, and I will never ever give them their flowers. I don't like this club. Up the Broncos.
DSPN.